Now, before we begin the video, I want to say I have no problems with Jenna whatsoever. I just have a problem with the idea of some of the fandom pushing the agenda that she has to be a Power Ranger to carry on her father's legacy. That's the main thing that I have. So if you want to take anything away from that, it's just some people's ideas are that they want Jenna to be a Ranger because of her father, and that is it. So with that, on with the video. I need to rant about this, and it's just really kind of frustrating. And it's a bit like, really type thing. So basically, if you don't know, Amy Jo Johnson is writing or has written a comic book for Boom Studios. It's now going to be a 4-part issue if you want to buy it in just like say normal edition, or you could back it on the Kickstarter. And I will say the Kickstarter is very, very impressive. Don't get me wrong. I backed it, so therefore I can complain about it. Pretty simple on that one. Pretty simple. Now, the basic rundown is the fact is this is set in an alternative universe. It is a what if scenario. So it is Tommy and Kimberly get married. She doesn't obviously go to the Pan Global Games or something like that. Rita and Zed get married a lot sooner. Rita and Zed destroy the command center, and the Rangers go and fly off to the moon to destroy Rita and Zed or whatever. And this is 30 years later. We've had some more information about what it is. Jason's gone rogue and blah blah blah. We have no idea what's going on. It sounds really interesting. 4 issues. I thought it might be longer, but you can also get the hardback editions, which I'm generally loving, which I have backed. Now, we know that there is going to be a new female Green Ranger, and I think that's pretty cool. I've always thought, hey, it's going to be an interesting thing to see who would take up the mantle in this comic book. But what I'm kind of a bit frustrated on is the fact that this could be Jenna, JDF's daughter. And to me, this feels like pandering. Now, my thoughts on this have been very, very simple. If Jenna wants to be a Power Ranger, that's absolutely awesome. More power to her. I really hope that she gets the role. But I hope she gets the role due to her acting skills and not on the merit of who her father is. And a lot of fans have said, or majority of the fans have said, that she should instantly become the next Green Ranger to honor her father, which I don't think should be a thing. I really don't, because it shows 2 things. The first one is that if she gets the role of the Green Ranger or a Power Ranger, I want it to be on the fact that she can act and that she can actually do all of this rather than just who her father is. And the second thing is, if she does become a Ranger, regardless if she has got the best acting in the entire world, people are going to see it as you only got that role because of who your father is. And that's it. Those are the 2 things that are going to go hand in hand. I would love to see her absolutely destroy everyone in acting and said, I've earned my place in this, rather than, hey, my dad was one of the most popular Rangers in the entire world, give me a job. It doesn't work like that, and I would rather see talent win over who you know type thing. And I don't think Hasbro would do it. I don't think we're going to see Jenna in the reboot or anything like that. It might be harsh, but that's how I think, and I know a lot of other people are going to say it as well. Now, from what I've heard over the years, Jenna has had no interest in auditioning or becoming a Power Ranger. I think maybe it's sparked up now because people have been saying, hey, you should do this for your dad. But in the past, she has had no interest that I know of. And when people have asked her, or when people have brought it up, everyone says, hey, yeah, she's not really that interested. I think maybe more for music. And that's not Sky Frank, by the way. Obviously, I think Jenna wants to get into music. And we've seen the images on her Instagram, you know, of her actually in the recording studio, etc., etc. I'm hoping I'm thinking of that right, but I'm sure that's been the case. So I don't know if Jenna wants to pursue a acting career as a Power Ranger, but I feel like the fandom's trying to push that to make it happen. Like if they push hard enough, she's like, oh, okay, I'll do it, and then actually hates it and goes, I don't want to do this anymore. What is really weird on this is the fact that a lot of the fandom who have been diehard Kimberly and Tommy fans have never liked Kat coming in, and this is probably their one time where they're like, finally, I get that dream that I've been wanting for such a long time to be the main thing. That is what is happening. That is what I want. And now you're getting it in comic book form. I hope you're happy, because I've had many arguments about this with multiple people, because sometimes they don't get it. Like, it's like, oh, it has to be the fact that we've not been able to move past like the breakup. Like, we can't get past season 1. The Green Ranger needs his Pink Ranger, and it can't be anyone else. Like, we hate Kat and JJ and blah blah blah. It's a thing. It's a fucking thing. I have no idea why. You get the whole thing of like, it's ruined my childhood, so I have to have it. Anyway, getting on to the main topic of this. If they do make Jenna the next female Green Ranger in this comic book, I feel like it's a lot of pandering. Now, we've seen like companies bend the knee, we've seen film companies bend the knee because, you know, this is what people want. Putting Jenna in this is going to be two things. It's either going to be really amazing or it's going to be downright creepy. To me, I find this creepy because all you're doing is you're pleasing a set number of fans where you're not pleasing everyone. Now, it's going to be really hard to actually please every single person. You can't. It is going to be really, really hard. But I feel like you're just pandering to a set amount of fans that just want this one thing and one thing only. Now, we don't know if this is going to be true, but if you have put Jenna in this and you name her Jenna, because obviously JJ was the son of Tommy and Kat, so I'm going to be interested if they're going to say, oh, this is Jenna, the daughter of Tommy and Kimberly. I would just find that really creepy, just saying like, hey, this looks exactly like her. This is going to be the one main thing, because I generally don't think you should do that. Like, I can imagine if this looked like someone else, like I'd be happy with that because it's not pandering. But if you make their daughter look like Jenna, I think that is really fucking creepy. Like, this could be a completely and utter original character, and I feel like when you're writing something like this, you could make someone completely different. Like, you could have Emma, or ironically, you could name her Kat, which would be really fucking funny if they did that. But if they said like, hey, this is Jenna, my daughter, and it looks like Jenna, I would just be like, that to me is creepy, having the fact that this is JDF's daughter. And I don't know, the way that I'm trying to explain it in my head is the fact that it just looks like it. It's like, this is the ultimate fantasy that people have had, that literally you have Amy Jo Johnson, JDF, and then Jenna in the middle having that photograph type moment. And I just think that would be really fucking weird. Like, that would put me off this really, really quickly, where I'd just be like, why would you do that? Is that just to please people? Because people instantly want that whole thing of like, Tommy and Kimberly are together and this is what it would be. Now, originally when I wrote this, I generally thought that if they do this, it's just copying the Tommy and Kat storyline, even though I think this is going to be a little bit different. But it just depends on what experiences this new character is going to have. If it's like, oh, we've sent you to a karate camp, we've done this, we've done that, it's then copying that sort of thing, and I'm a bit like, that would be a bit kind of, why? I want to know the entire whole storyline. It has got me interested in knowing what's going on. Or maybe we just see a flashback and, you know, the new Green Ranger could be someone else completely different, which again would be a really unique storytelling point. I wanted to bring the attention, this is how I found out about it originally, and this is what Cosmic Ranger said. She better not do what I think she's doing. To where Lawrence says, keeping Tommy and Kim together and making JJ a girl, their daughter, a reference to Jenna, because that's the vibe I'm getting. And originally I didn't notice this because I just saw this image and I thought, oh, that's really cool. It's a different take on Kimberly and, you know, Tommy and stuff like that. But obviously when you look at the bigger image, you can see that obviously the Green Ranger is a female. And this is something that I've read and I kind of want to expand on. It says, yeah, that's what I'm getting to and I don't like it. Anthony goes, may I ask you and seemingly others against it? I personally think it's a great legacy as years pass. It would be cool to see older Rangers return with their children as new Rangers with access to their parents' powers. Now, to me personally, I don't mind if a Ranger comes back with a child and says, here is your power coin, here is your power, whatever it is. I think that's fine. But when it's kind of an insert of a real life person into it, like this looks like Jenna or this is Jenna, that to me is where it draws the line, because it's not an original character. It's just something where it's like saying we need to please the fans because a certain portion need to have this. So let's continue. They don't deserve it. Actors audition for these roles and get casted or rejected, so give it to someone's child because their parent was a ranger is ridiculous. And again, I mentioned this is true. A lot of the fandom have turned around and said like, oh, it should be Jenna. Anthony replies with, I see your point, but personally I disagree. For years we've been given adult actors that are supposed to be teens, with the exception of Turbo Blue, who we saw one of the greatest character developments in history. I don't agree with Justin becoming the best character, whatever. What better way to continue the legacy of Tommy than to have his real teen, close to teen daughter, I don't know her exact age, adopt an option for his powers and legacy in the morphing grid. I see that Kim taking it, but that doesn't seem as canon as letting a direct descendant take the most legendary ranger's place. I personally would be absolutely disgusted if they tried to put any actor in JDF's place other than those two. It would make my stomach roll to see some actor don the Green Ranger or White Ranger of the White Ranger suit. Please make a poll on Ranger fans who would like to see their opinion to have Tommy's powers, Kim, Jenna, a new actor Ranger, and Thing. Continues. You can see the acknowledging of Jenna's pain of losing her father, donning the Green Ranger suit in rage against the world, then having a very real feeling story of how the Rangers bring her back to the light. The child grew up watching her dad be the Power Ranger. I'd wager she has the something to be a young Ranger fully covered from the law of acting, them the writers. So I want to kind of expand about this a little bit more. JDF is not Tommy Oliver. Like you have to separate them from this. So having Jenna come in and being the Green Ranger just in a way wouldn't make sense. You're just using this to please fans rather than saying, hey, let her get this on her own. Again, I just don't think this is a good thing, and you're basically saying that Jenna is the next Green Ranger because she's JDF's daughter and this needs to happen. This is just pleasing to other people, yet I would like to see an original character, an original daughter, rather than, hey, this is going to be Jenna. Now, if this is actually true and it is Jenna, I still find it weird and creepy. But I know some people are going to buy this because they want to support it. Hell, it's already been backed by the time that, when I wrote this, it hadn't, but it has been backed. So obviously people want to see this story, and I'm very curious to see what is going to happen with it. Some people who have never read the comics are going to buy this because they want to support it. Because what are your thoughts? What do you think about this? Let me know down below in the comments. Would you like to see Jenna in this comic book, or would you like to see Jenna as a Ranger in general? Let me know what you think in the comments. And while you're down there, hit like, favorite, comment, and subscribe, even though you've already commented. But yeah, I am going to leave it there. If you want to support the channel, then check out the Patreon as well as the channel memberships. Thank you very much for listening and watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. I want to say a big thank you to all my Patreon supporters, and I wanted to shout out Kimona Cat, Kira Stanada, Micah Baldwin. Your help goes a long way to help support the channel, and if you want to help support the channel, the links to my Patreon and channel memberships are listed below in the description.
あらあら、チャンネルをサポートしてくれてありがとうございます。チャンネル登録、高評価お願いします。以下のリンクから商品を入手することができます。